Well, hello, my darlings. Here we are again, and I just wanted to welcome you. I'm Jane B. Lee. I'm here peddling my books. The latest one is The Red Bitch's Revenge. Real thick book, 46 chapters, 520 pages. It's the size of two novels. And what I wanted to do was reach back to what we talked about earlier, which was the importance of research when you're doing your books. And this is basically going to talk about that a little bit. Now, The Red Bitch's Revenge, if I read you the blurb tells you, we call it the blurb, tells you about the book. And it says, Dana, a seemingly innocent teenage, had witnessed the brutal murder of her mother, descends into the dark underworld world of drug lords and murderers, relying on her martial arts skills for revenge. Dana is quickly given the nickname Red Bitch by the drug lord she chases. Dana assembles a small crew of confident, successful, dangerous women and goes after the killers. Yet by day, her life revolves around her father's art gallery, her child, and her extended family. Can she live in both worlds? The bigger question is, can she survive the depraved underworld? So that's about the book. So you can see it's a lot about martial arts. And I said before, I know nothing about martial arts, so I had to sit down and study it. And so there are 10 basic forms of martial arts. And so I read through each one of those and got the gist of what they're about. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of Chapter 5, just the opening part of Chapter 5. And just to set it up a little bit is that Eve has taught her daughter, Dana, martial arts. Also her brothers, her older brothers, all are martial arts experts as well, but she's the best. And she had gone to a prom, and it was the first time for her to wear heels. And she was very unstable in the heels when she went to the prom. When she got home, she started practicing on her mat with her brothers in heels. So she would do her martial arts in heels. So that gives you kind of set up for this chapter. And so she's about 15 in this chapter, and I'm only going to read a page and a quarter. So it's not too much, it's just a page actually. And Chapter 5 is called It Comes Together. The summer passed quickly. Dana's moves became quicker and more precise, her in heels or barefoot. It got to the point that Eve had to take Dana up a level. She took Dana down to the dojo for the first time. Dana, I would like you to meet Bobby Chu and Tommy Chong. They are the masters here. Bobby and Tommy, I would like you to meet your next instructor, Dana. They both gave her a slight bow. If you're anything like your mother, I'm sure in a few years you'll be an instructor here, Bobby said. Actually, she can start teaching your black belts today, Eve said, with a smile. Bobby and Tommy smiled politely. Give her a try, Eve said. Tommy started to call over one of the black belts. Why don't you give her a try? Eve said with a big smile and emphasis on you. Well, I don't think Tommy started. Afraid? Eve asked quickly. Okay, I'll only do this for you, Tommy said, bowing to Eve. A few minutes later, Dana and Tommy were standing opposite each other. They bowed at each other, and Dana waited for Tommy's advance. He just stood there, in the typical judo pose. He waved her in. 10 seconds later, he was on the floor with Dana's foot on his neck. Tommy, what happened? Eve asked, smiling and pulling Tommy up from the floor. Let's make this interesting. Dana, do Wing Chun. Bobby, want to give her a try? Dana and Bobby bowed. Bobby came at her with his best taekwondo. Dana backed, ducked, turned with her hands all the time behind her back. She did this for a full minute. Then Eve lifted her pointer finger on her left hand. In one quick move, Dana grabbed his shoulder, and with a short leg move, Bobby was on the floor. Dana was above him, her palm ready to drive into his nose. Dana let him up and bowed. It took a minute for the shock of what Dana had just accomplished to wear off. Tommy turned to Eve. You said she can start today? Yes, but she makes her own schedule, school and other things, in a young teen's life, Eve said, smiling. They all bowed. Let's discuss salary, Eve said to the masters. So there is kind of an example of the using some of the information I learned, just a little bit of the information I learned when I was doing the research on the 10 different types of martial arts. And so I kind of combined them in there along with a simplified portion of the moves. So that kind of gives you a feeling what you have to do when you're writing a book and things like that. Doing your research and getting things right. So I'd like to again, as I close up here, is that first book, Identity. And next time I'll read you the blurb for Identity. The Red Bitch's Revenge on my website. While we're in self-incarcerations here, this is 20% off plus free shipping from my website. They're signed and dedicated to whoever you want me to dedicate them to. I'll mail them out same day or next day when I get the order from you. So give it a try. The 20% off is for the duration of the self-incarceration. That's what I'm talking about there. And then the new book that I'm working on now, it's coming along nicely, is Angel the Assassin. Hopefully that'll be out this summer. With the way everything's going, sounds good. And lastly, the same. Jane's Adventures in Storyland. It's long, but it's easy to remember. www.janesadventuresinstoryland.com. And you can look, you got me on the YouTube, and YouTube is also Jane Lee, and it's also Jane's Adventures in Storyland. So that's where I'm at now. Okay, well, thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the company. As you can see, I'm crowded here with guests. Anyway, y'all be safe. Stay away from each other. Enjoy your life. Enjoy things that are going on. Find things to do. Read a good book. Enjoy. Love you all. Talk to you all later now.